Perfect food, they say, is born of perfect order. If you keep good food in your fridge, you will eat good food. Nothing brings people together like good food. With this, I welcome you to Food and Nutrition. In this segment, we will look at meal planning for healthy living. Enjoy the class. Planning a meal, planning a healthy meal. What do we mean by that? Knowing how to plan and prepare meals are vital life skills. There is no way around it. A person has to eat. Without a knowledge of how to plan and prepare meals, this skill is handed over to restaurants. The best time is now. The basis of a nutrition education is all about good food choices. When we choose to eat good quality real food, we automatically get vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that we need for healthy bodies. Let's find out what is a meal. A meal is the food we cook and eat at the different times of the day, like morning, that is breakfast, afternoon, lunch, evening, supper. This must be planned so that a balanced diet will be regularly consumed at home. I ask you this question. Does food determine the state of your health? Yes, food plays a vital role in the maintenance of good health. Well-fed people have more resistance to disease than those who are poorly nourished. When people are well-fed, there is less incidence of sickness and therefore less amount will be extended on health problem. So, food play a vital role in our health. Why do we plan a meal? Let's find out what is the meaning of meal planning. Meal planning can be defined as taking the time to plan nutritious meals for a specific time. We plan meals so that a balanced diet will be regularly consumed at home. Meal planning is a great way to make sure you are eating a balanced diet and meeting your nutritional needs. It can help you to save time and money. With meal planning, you know what your meals will look like and what you need to buy. A well-planned meal must have the energy-giving food, that is carbohydrate, body-building food, which is protein, and protective food, that is vitamin and mineral needed by the body. Guidelines for healthful eating. Let's find out some guidelines concerning eating habits. Many factors affect our health, which include disease, the food we eat, our works habits, and what we have inherited from our parents, and many more. You may not have control over all these factors. However, you can make healthy food choices. Here are some guidelines that I'm going to give you concerning making healthy food choices. The first one, eat a varieties of food. You need all the nutrients in a right proportion for good health. So you need to eat a variety of food. No single food can supply your body with all the nutrients in the amounts you need them. For instance, yam can give you carbohydrates, but not protein. Eating a variety of food helps you to ensure that you get all the nutrients you need. Choose food from all the food groups to enable you to have a balanced diet. Secondly, do not eat too much sugar. I know most of you like to take sugary thing like ice cream, candies, cake, soft drinks, cookies, pastry. All these are not too good for your health due to the sugary content, which may lead to overweight or tooth decay. Thirdly, do not overeat. Don't serve yourself large portions of food for any reason. Don't think, oh, this food is so sweet, or I like this food, and you take more than necessary. So don't overeat. Take just the right quantity for your health. Improve your eating habits. That is another point for guidelines for healthful eating. Improve your eating habit. Now, what do I mean by that? Understand your present food habits. That is what food you like and the food that you dislike. The regularity of food intake. That is the number of meal you take a day, like your snacks in practice and so on. Find out the areas where you need improvement and you improve on it. The last point is let your diet have plenty vegetables and fruits. These food are good for your health, like the leafy vegetable. When we are talking of pumpkin leaf, we are talking of fruit of any kind, orange, bananas. All these food are good for your head. Even soya beans, they have plenty of vitamins and minerals, good sources of fiber and low in fats. Steps to take in planning meal. Let's look at some stuff or the factor that can influence meal planning. The first factor that will influence the meal planning, we have level of income. Before any meal can be planned, the amount of money to be spent must be known. So level of what income affects what the planned of meal. This amount of money available to the family for feeding affects the planning of the family meal, as this will determine the type and the quality of food. Whether rich or poor, the food should be spent on essential items, bearing in mind that cheaper foodstuff contain the same food value as an expensive one. So the level of income also affects what the factors in planning meal. Another one is the number of people in the family. That is another factor that influences meal planning. That gives the planner an idea of the number of people to be served and the quality of food to be purchased. Age, special needs and size of the family are another factor or another step to take in planning. You need to consider in planning meal. The age of the family member vary and the food requirements cannot be the same. So in your home, you have a child as old as 6 months, you have 10 years, and you have 30, 50, 80 years. So as the age of the family member varies, the food requirements cannot be the same. In a home where they have a numbers of infants and adolescents, the diet need for that home needs to have what high protein because children are very active. They expend a lot of energy and have food appetite that should be catered for by ensuring that enough carbohydrate is provided in the diet. Elderly people need more protective food and tissues repairing food, such as minerals, salts, vitamins, and protein. Even adolescent boys and girls need iron, but more needed by girls because of the loss of blood during the menstruation. So we can get nutrients from fresh fruits, vegetables, and protein. In the same way, people who are sick and those recovering from illness should be given food that will assist the repair of damaged tissue and the replacement of worn out cell. Season and climates, nutritional values of food. These are also factors to be considered when planning what a healthy meal, when planning your meal. Now, the season, the weather is a definite influence on both appetite and body need of people. That is, hot and heavier foods are needed in cold weather than in hot weather, which is a no fats. However, each meal should include at least one hot food, even in warm weather. It is also best food. It is also best to use food in season because they are likely to be cheaper and fresher than food out of season that had to be preserved, stored, and transported. Nutrition value of food. Various food items in the market have meal planning levels of food nutrients. Some are rich in food nutrients, others are poor. A good knowledge of food nutrients will help the planning of a balanced diet for the family at a reasonable costs. Physical facility, occupation, times for meals are also steps to consider in planning meal. Now, for physical activity facility, the physical facility and equipment available will influence meal planning. How is that? One cannot plan a meal that involve grilling or baking when the facilities are not there. So if you don't have some certain machine like blender, you cannot blend, or you don't have an oven, you can't bake. So all these things can affect what meal planning. Occupation is another factor that affects what meal planning, because our physical activity uses a lot of energy, and the amount of energy extended will depend on the kind of job we do. A person doing a clerical work will not use as much energy as someone doing manual work. You can't compare somebody working in a bank and somebody doing bricklayer work. Definitely, the bricklayer worker needs more energy giving food. Times for meal. Time for meal factor is also to be considered, as it is necessary to know if the menu is required for is breakfast, is lunch, dinner, supper, or for special occasion. All these are steps to be considered in planning a meal. Let me remind you, we say level of income, the number of the family, we talk about the special need, the age and the size of the family, we talk about the physical facility, the occupation, times for me, season and climate, and nutritional value of food. They are the factors to be considered when you are planning your meal. The importance of meal planning. Now let's find out the importance of planning our meal. With anything in life, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That is general saying. So it also affects me planning. Now let's look at the importance why it help us to plan meal. Now meal planning ensure you are eating the right food in the right portion. So you can imagine it's very good. It makes sure that you eat your right food in the right word, in the right portion. That is point one. Point two, it makes serving of a balanced diet regular. It's what? It makes servings of a balanced diet regular. Point three, it serves as a guide to the purchase of food needs. It serves as a guide to the purchases of what? Of food need. Point four, it allows for a great variety of meal for the family. We talk about it. It gives you room to have variety of food. And lastly, it allows for good management of food items, thereby preventing waste and loss of food nutrients. So you can see that it's very meal planning is very, very important. Well, we have come to the end of the lesson. Thanks for watching and listening. I want you to know that meal planning is the simple art of taking some time to plan any number of your meal for the week. Planning your meal in advance can save time, money, and stress. It gives you more control over the nutritional content of your meal. It is never too late to make smarter food choices. Healthy eating is an important part of staying healthy at your age. Eating a variety of food keeps our meal interesting and then flavorful. It's also the key to a healthy and a balanced diet, because each food has a unique mix of nutrients. It is good for you to create your own meal. Now, what do I want you to do? Create your own meal for a week. Put it in our question notes and answer section. I will be glad to answer them all.